Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Path of Exile video, and we have an absolutely massive patch, as you can see right here. Some of these changes have already been implemented without a server restart, including changes to the dodge roll so that you no longer get stuck, added some extra checkpoints, checkpoint teleportation, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we're going to check right now in this video. Of course, some of these changes have already been deployed without a realm restart. Like I said, the dodge roll is one of them, but others will be deployed in an upcoming patch. So let's check all of them out. Starting with the actual dodge roll changes, I really love these. So player size is now set to 0 units, while dodge rolling is set of 1 unit, and some smaller monsters can now be pushed while dodge rolling. This includes monsters such as the beetles in Kath. And the way this works is now you basically no longer get stuck. I literally encountered 0 times I would get stuck in my whole 10 hours of playing today. Basically now, if you do get cornered by enemies, if you dodge, your character just paths between all the enemies and kind of ends to the other side of them, even pushes some of them away if they are on smaller sizes. So literally almost nothing can get you stuck unless you're literally getting attacked by huge enemies, talking big units. Also, this means you should get trapped way less often. Another one is to checkpoints. You're absolutely going to love this, by the way. Clicking on a checkpoint will now allow you to teleport to other checkpoints in the area that are explored on your minimap. So what this means, you basically can use them as fast teleportation points. This should help a ton with map clearing, or even more so with backtracking to other places in the same map that you may want to also further go to. Another one is that checkpoints have been added to all entrances and exits of zones to further allow teleportation. Again, helps a ton to fully discover the map. And check this out, you're going to love this as well. A checkpoint has been added to the midpoint of the first Dreadnought area. Probably the one that pisses people off the most. Absolutely glad they've done so, and they should help a ton with the encounter. Now, let's also move on to some of the item changes. One of the major problems that players have been experiencing is feeling that the game doesn't reward enough. So this is an area that we have to be very careful when adjusting, because it's very hard to reduce drops if we increase them by too much. We felt rare monsters were not rewarding enough. This didn't affect the main campaign because there are many unique bosses, increasing the overall amount of drops, but it's especially noticeable when playing to the end game, where unique monsters are less common. In particular, the reward that you were getting for the increased difficulty of rares wasn't lining up. So what they've done is that rarity bonus per rare mod has been doubled. Another one is that they made a 10% quantity bonus per rare mod and increased the chance of rare monsters inherently having more modifiers as you progress through the end game, which should help a little bit over there. But these changes will cause rare monster rewards to naturally scale up as you get higher levels, because the number of mods a monster can have increases throughout the campaign and into the end game. In addition, many other forms of map juicing will indirectly cause rare monsters to have more mods as well, increasing the rewards of these other mechanics too. So yeah, you should definitely see this change becoming even more noticeable as you progress in the end game. Now, we also have currency changes, and I'm loving some of these numbers right here. Regal Orb drop rate by 40%. That is pretty huge. Disenchanting of 6 mod rares to give 2 Regal shards instead of just 1. Lesser Jeweler's Orbs drop rate increased by 33%. Now, they did reduce the drop rate of Chaos Orbs slightly, as they are less valued, and so that it doesn't consume so much of the rare currency drop pool, so that they don't occupy part of that drop pool when you could probably get something like a Regal Orb or something else instead. This causes the currencies such as Exalted Orbs to increase somewhat. Also, Gem Cutter Prism drop rate increased by 500%. Gem Cutter Prism basically lets you boost the quality of your gems, and that helps a ton. I've already seen a bunch of them dropping for me. Also, Gem Cutter Prisms now increase quality of gems by 5% instead of just 1%. Moving on, we have map changes. So one of them is that rarity mods have now been increased by 2.5x, which is actually really big. They felt that players were not being rewarded enough for the difficulty that was being added by map mods, so they've significantly increased the value of the prefix map mods. Also, quantity mods have had extra rarity added to them. Bottom tier of some mods was removed, and you are much more likely to roll modifiers that affect drops or pack size rather than less useful mods. In addition, it has been identified that some areas are not being affected by the increased number of monster packs mod as they should be. We will be fixing these maps to work correctly in a later patch. Now, a very interesting thing they've added over here is unlucky drop protection. One of the major issues we have identified are outlier unlucky drops. A single unique boss dropping badly, especially early on, can significantly affect your character. That is definitely true. We have deployed the following two changes. So no more 50% of a unique monster drops can be gold, and act bosses and map bosses will drop, or will always drop, at least one rare. Unfortunately, I believe you can only complete act bosses one. I'm not sure if you can even repeat them. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But the first of these changes is more significant than it first appears because players can't see the difference between normal and rare gold piles. You will get more equipment and currency items which can take more advantage of the rarity increase that unique monsters provide. Also, for click to move, there's a change. There was an issue with the move only command, which was name locking. This could also often result in your character confusingly attacking an unexpected direction while holding down this action. We have deployed the following change: move only no longer name locks. Now, in terms of some of the other endgame changes, a concern for players in endgame maps is accidentally missing rare monsters. In addition, many maps did not have the number of rare monsters that they should have had. I mean, there were maps in which you could run pretty much the whole thing and barely get anything. So there are a couple of changes coming here as well. Rare monsters now appear on the minimap when there are 200 monsters remaining instead of 50. Many maps have had additional rare monsters added to them to make sure that there are a minimum number in every map type. And of course, over the coming weeks, there's going to be a bunch of other changes to layouts, monster density, and other issues on the map. So overall, I'm loving the feedback so far. Looks really promising. It pretty much addressed most of my biggest complaints. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next steps. So far, I'm absolutely having a blast in it. Now, there are a few bugs that I still encountered and I would still love to see being fixed. One of them is that if you teleport out of the trial area, say for example you have an overabundance of items and maybe you want to sell some of them, every now and then you're going to notice that you cannot use the portal to get back inside. And I almost had a mini heart attack when this happened to me. I was like pretty far into the map. I was like on the second version of the map. So basically what you can do is just resume from where you were left. You don't have to use that portal. You can just teleport back to the start of the trial area. The coin is still inside, so you can go ahead and just resume from where you were left. It's going to let you go to the last room that you have unlocked and continue from there. As far as I've noticed, there were no penalties at all. So just the bug that it doesn't let you go back. Another one is that, yeah, if you miss out on these coins, or if you screw up and lose out, they will be destroyed. So you will need to find another one. And guess what? They are a very rare drop. No, they don't drop from the same boss in Act 2 or the ones in Act 3. They have a random chance to drop from like almost anywhere. So I'm assuming that the more you go into the end game, the higher the chances are. But if you're struggling to find another one, just press on. You don't have to fight the same boss again, the same Jin boss. It's not going to help in any way or form. And there were a few other similar occasions with annoying bugs. Yeah, this is early access, I get that. Another one I've noticed is also in the trials. If you accidentally go to the platform before picking everything off, you can no longer go back. And I did notice at one point something important dropping for me, and I wasn't able to go ahead and take it again. It was actually another coin, so that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is early access, and obviously a lot of other stuff will get changed and fixed along the way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.